The GWM Cannon Alpha is the biggest car that GWM has ever sold in Australia. So it is a large ute, or larger than the Cannon ute that they've had here previously. Not quite as big as the big American pickup trucks, your Ford F-150s and Rams and so on. So it sort of slots in between, I guess, the popular ones we've known, things like Ford Rangers and Toyota Hiluxes, and obviously those larger American pickup trucks. GWM thinks this car can create a bit of a niche for itself in that expanding ute market. So key to the Cannon Alpha sales pitch is value. It starts at $51,990 drive away, which is obviously sharper than the mainstream utes that we've seen on the market. This car I'm in is a bit more expensive than that, $57,990 drive away, but it comes absolutely loaded with equipment. Electric front seats, for example, heated and ventilated front seats, panoramic sunroof, massive 14.6-inch touchscreen, and one of the most innovative tailgates you'll ever see. You can not only fold it down, but it also splits 60-40, so almost down the middle, and opens up like barn doors. So something we've never seen on a ute in Australia. So it's a little bit different in that regard. At the very top of the range, you can also get a hybrid version. So a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine made it up to an electric motor. And it's not exactly economical. They say it's more about performance than fuel economy. Uses 9.8 litres per 100. But price-wise, $64,990 drive away. So the first full hybrid ute in Australia is fairly sharply priced. The Cannon Alpha also presents really well. It's pretty well put together. It's got a nice wooden or fake wooden strip going across the dashboard, and really high quality finishes. So from a ute perspective, it certainly stands out. And of course that extra space, it gives you pretty decent backseat legroom and headroom, so it's up in that regard. In terms of the driving, well, it's a little bit hit and miss. The ride is certainly firm. It's quite firm by ute standards. So even though this thing can tow 3.5 tonnes, it's got a payload of around about 800 kilograms depending on the model. But it's very firm in the suspension, so you do notice yourself bouncing around a bit. It's certainly quite firm. The engines, the diesel engine it's okay. It's nothing special in that diesel space. The hybrid's actually a bit of a surprise. So while it may not save a whole lot of fuel, the hybrid system does a pretty good job in terms of performance. Gives you that nice sort of flexibility, that nice torque in the low rev range, and helps pull it out of decent or up decent hills and so on. Also pretty strong off-road, really solid off-road. It's designed to do some pretty hardcore off-roading, as people expect in utes, and it lives up in that regard. It's a permanent four-wheel drive system, so always in 4 high. You can also get you can also slot it into 4 low to do more serious off-road terrain. The biggest challenge the GWM Cannon Alpha will have is convincing those rusted-on ute buyers currently buying Rangers, Hiluxes, D-Maxes, Tritons, all those sorts of things, convincing those people to give this one a try, but that's where the price tag comes in. This one undercuts a lot of the competition and packs a whole lot more in.